Hello and welcome to another video on my Bakki rivers. So if you don't know what Bakki rivers are, they're these things, and it's just sort of a thing I make myself, and I usually put Siporax in them, but you can put whatever type of media you like in them really. And what I'm doing today is I'm making another Bakki river for somebody, and I sort of wanted to put a bit of how I actually make them in the video and see what you think. So this is the one that I've got on my main pond. There is about 200 litres of Siporax in there. So there's well more than enough for a 40,000 litre pond, and it is absolutely fantastic filtration system for me. There are some changes I might make to this one, because this one was the first one I ever made, and there may be some changes I make to it as I've learnt from newer ones going along, but that'll come sort of later. And then we've got the one at the back of the fish house, or the quarantine tank, which has just got 50 litres of Siporax in it and some Bakki house media, and that one is, it runs down like that and it drops down and then out, and that one also does a pretty good job. The cleaning on these, I don't clean them, I never really clean them. I especially don't clean the main ponds one, but I have cleaned this one about twice now, so basically once a year, and that's usually when I take all the fish out of this tank and I just sort of take all the media out in it and then put it all back in. But it's not really, you don't really need cleaning because these are after a drum filter. However, the one I'm making today is actually going to be after a sieve, so I am making a cleaning mechanism on it so it can be easily cleaned. So let's have a look at the one I'm making today. So this is the river I'm making for somebody today. As you can see, it's mostly all together. This is pretty much the final thing. The reason I've done that is because I kind of make these custom make these, and as I'm going along things change and it's difficult to film it and you can't really tell how it's progressing. But we're at this point anyway. So what I've got here is a 2-inch inlet right there, and then that'll come into this section. This section will fill up with water to the height that I want it to fill up to, because this isn't welded in yet. That's just going to be put there later on, and then it'll fall over there into the Siporax, move along the Siporax, and then at the height of the Siporax, so it's going to have one box 50 litres of Siporax in it. Wherever the height stops, this will stop as well. And again, that one's not put in, so the water will fall over there and then it'll come out this little weir here and back into the pond. This one is aiming to have about 5,000 litre an hour pump on it. I think it could do a bit more than that, it should be fine with a bit more than that, but I've sort of made it to have 5,000 litre an hour pump on it. I'm going to try it with a 10 and see what it does. Now you might be wondering what this section is right here. Now this is another sort of watertight section. This is so plants can grow in it, so obviously this is going to be along your front of your pond, and it went with black because the clear ones always sort of like go an artificial forest inside anyway with sunlight on them. Mine just go brown because they're indoors, but either way it doesn't really matter. So this one's black so you can't see the stuff inside it. And what it's going to have in here is I want to drill a little hole right there somewhere so that water leaks out of it, fills this section up, and then drill another hole out here so it overflows out, and then all little water plants can live in that and sort of grow, and should look pretty good when it's in. Now cleaning it, so this is a 2-inch outlet right here. It's going to have a valve on it, and there's going to be a false floor in the bottom of this, and what's going to happen is the water will come over this weir and any muck will settle underneath the false floor, and then what I'll do is I'll put a thing up there so this sucks the water from underneath the false floor. So to clean it, what you do is you'll stop your pump, and then this will still be full of water, and you'll literally just open that ball valve and it'll just suck all the water and all the muck down there and straight out. That's the idea anyway. And then if there's any remaining muck, you can just run your pump a second, flush it out, or just get a quick hose down, and then you're done. Close the valve, let it fill back up, and it should be pretty clean. Siporax doesn't really hold muck. If you've ever used Siporax, you can sort of just, usually what you do is you put it in like a bag or something like that, and you just shake the bag and it all just comes out. So Siporax is pretty good for that. It doesn't really hold muck, so it should just wash out. Especially seeing as, you know, there'll be a bit of water in this section, it should have quite a bit of suction and a bit of flow rate on that, so it should just suck all the muck out and be clean. But yeah, this is that's specifically because it is after a sieve rather than after a drum filter. After a drum filter I wouldn't really need to do that, because there's such fine particles after the drum filter that never settle in the water flow that's going along there because it flows so fast. And then you got your outlet to your pond, you got a little weir there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to weld these in, find that, I'm going to put these in like that, I'm going to put some Siporax in there, and then I'm going to find the heights it needs to be and cut these and weld them in. So let's get on with that. So there's a 50 litre box of Sera Siporax, and it's good for a 20,000 litre pond, or about 5,000 gallon, and I use the 25mm ring, and I've put them all in here now just to see where we are with height. So it's pretty much filled it quite well, so I calculated it pretty well, I think. Now I need to add a little bit of a gap for the thing I'm going to put in bottom, and then cut these at the appropriate height. I think I'm going to do this one ever so slightly higher than that one, so the water falls into this section. And I haven't decided whether to cut slots in these actually, or to just cut them straight off. See, if there's any push down, they'll just go straight down and get stuck in there and then block it, which is not fun. So it might be a better idea to cut slots. Yes. So yeah. That's how we've got so far. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So here we are with the finished product. Now I decided not to actually put a video of me welding it, because as previous videos of me actually trying to do stuff on camera, it's all failed, and I really didn't want this to fail, so I didn't do it. But I'll show you pretty much what I've done. So I've put that baffle in there, that's all welded in, and I've put a bottom in, false flooring with holes in it, and then you can see it covers, you could just, well, you could do, the outlet is right there, so if you open that outlet when it has the valve on it, it'll suck water down these grills and take all the muck away that's settled in the bottom. And then this is the outlet, so water will be about this level here and normal operation, and it'll drop down there and then come out of this weir here, and we'll see that in a bit when it's fully running. But this can just be removed. You just literally pick it out. If I can grab hold of it somewhere, you just literally pick it out like that, and it's got little feet all on bottom in it that hold a small gap underneath it, and yeah, it should be alright. It should be really easy to clean. Should literally, any muck should just fall to the bottom anyway, because Siporax doesn't really hold muck. And then when you let all the water out of that, it should just flush it all out. It should be pretty good. And yeah, it should be pretty good. So that's it so far. Now, how do you actually weld it for those that are interested? This is the welding gun that I use. And what you do is you put, just put that in there, hold it. You put different tips on it, different ends. So these are some of the ends I use. So this is a speed welding for round rod, 3mm round, which is what I've actually welded this up with. And then this is a triangle, which I haven't used much on this. And basically you just, this gives out red hot heat, and then you use a little bit of wire. Let me see if I can get some. So this is your 3mm round wire, and you basically just melt it into the corners. So join the plastic together, you just melt it in there, and it takes a bit of time to perfect it, but it's pretty strong when it's done right, and should last forever. But yeah, so it's pretty much, you know, it's plastic welding. It's very similar to regular welding of metal. You're just basically heating two components up and then heating up another piece of material that then fills the gap up. So yeah, and that's how this is all made. So let's go and install it and see it running on the pond. So here we are with its final mounting position. You can see it on the pond. We're just waiting for the pond to fill up a bit now, and then we'll get on with running some water through it. The filter is running alongside a Nexus filter, so really the Nexus is the main filtration on this pond. And then we've got a T line that comes over here to a sieve at the back of here. A sieve filter just there, and then from the sieve to an 8000 pump down there somewhere, and then straight into the side of the box here. If I can get this lid off, you can see all the brand new shiny Siporax sat in there. And obviously when I've done these previously, I always get a lot of comments saying, well, that looks difficult to clean. Well, the problem with my other systems is I never clean them. You don't need to clean them after a drum filter because Siporax doesn't hold muck. At most, I mean, it's been 2 years since I last cleaned the one on my main pond, and about 2 months since I cleaned it on my quarantine tank when I changed fish. But this one has a cleaning pot, so obviously below this point is just an open bit where the muck can settle in the bottom, and then when you open this, all the water will drain out and suck all that muck out straight out the bottom, and then you close that, and then it continues back over the weir and back to the pond. So it's actually really easy to clean, and actually might be a thing I incorporate on the ones that also have drum filters on. So you can clean them if you want to, or if something gets in it or whatever, you can always clean them. I think this one's going to be really easy to clean, really easy to look after and maintain. So let's have a see what it looks like with water flowing through it. So here we are with the finished river. So that's the outlet flow rate. It's on an 8000 litre pump. And then we've got the inlet right here. So here's your water coming in, and then it flows all the way along to the outlet down there. Let's go have a look. Right. There it is, coming down the outlet. So there we go. It's pretty good. Quite pleased with it. Water level's just right. It's holding together quite nicely, and you know, good amount of water in here. Not too much, not too little. All these are quite well submerged. This is a full 50 litre box of Siporax, so good for a 20,000 litre pond. And then you've got your drain here, which conveniently goes back into the sieve. There you go. I didn't fully. That's fully open. If you want to slow the outlet down a little bit, you can open that. So there we go, a little bit more peaceful outlet. There we go, that's the river. So here we are with the final product, actually finished. The only thing we need now is some plants to go along there, and probably some gravel or something to put in and put the plants in. I've drilled a little hole in there so you can see the water's sort of peeing out there. I imagine that'll slightly block and slow down, and then at that end there's another hole to let the water out the section for plants. So the plants will get a constant little flow through for them. As you can see, that's a lot slower than it previously were, and what we've done is the actual waste outlet is actually now a return tip pond, so it goes down there. So basically you just open the waste outlet an appropriate amount to make that come out there whatever you want. The only downside to that is that when you come to cleaning it, you open that and it lets all the waste into the pond. But it's not really a problem. There shouldn't be that much settling in it, especially seeing as there's a sieve before it and it's got the Nexus also on the pond. So there you go. Have a quick look underneath there and have a look at the water level in there. Very good. If you like this video, then please like it. If you've got any questions or comments, then please comment them below. If you want to see more videos like this, then please feel free to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.